Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, and I would like to welcome you to the other side of midnight. Already in the chat. Something dark side scenes. This guy again. He seems like a nice guy, though, because he's saying hello to everyone in the chat. So I guess we'll keep him. This channel has members. Wait, I have members? Yes. And here are the latest 2 additions. Friend of the channel, my co-host on live from Sparkwind 21. Last call, Troy Pacelli. New member and friend of the channel, Dee Dee Myers Jr. Joining us from the future, Sashi. Shadow of the Raven in the house, Nevermore. She with the smoldering new avatar. That does not work. I think we should just do this for the next 2 hours just to totally annoy Sin. Oh, come on now. I know she's why you're all really here. I am drawing out the moment. Valuable commercial time being wasted. Since corner.
You really did drag that thing out, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I'm getting... Half the show will just be introductions from now on. In fact, I think I'll just do a show that'll be all introductions.
All intros, and then that's
all
it?
Intros, and that's it. Because
that'll
why
work.
not?
Yeah, sure. No drum
music.
roll.
No drum roll.
No.
No
if
music.
you're gonna do any sort of drums, it's got to be the Terminator. Like, that's the drums. That's what I go for. Hey, Troy. Thanks. It's good to be kind of trying to get back into the routine. I feel like I'm a bit rusty. Catching up. A lot of stuff I need to work on. Movies and work. And movies and work. And talking about movies. But yeah. Finally back on East Coast time.
Indeed. First things first, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Yes, indeed. So, let's let everyone know what you've been up to over the last couple of weeks and why you abandoned your post.
I am so sorry. And I'm going to be abandoning you guys again in next week, late next week. So I went away for, part of it was work and part of it was so I went to Kansas City, where my boss is located, and we went to a con there, and our attendance at the con, as far as like having a booth and everything, our presence there as a company kind of got a little messed up. So we never had the booth, but we planned this last minute party sort of thing for fans of our company and the work that and the different authors that we work with, and that went off really well. But I was disappointed that my purpose there wasn't what I was expecting it to be, and but it was still great to hang with everybody. And then one of my colleagues, he made a surprise visit there, and so that was pretty exciting. There was video and everything of that particular party. It's on the Sound Booth Theater Live's channel. And then after that, I hopscotched over to California from Kansas City. I was like, oh, since I'm halfway across the country, I'll go ahead and visit my brother and stayed with him for about 9 days and then came back, but had the worst air travel experience I have ever had in all the time I've been flying. Not that I fly a lot, but it was terrible. It was terrible. Delays, and then I was going to miss a connecting, so then they put me on another, and then I get that down there okay, but then that was delayed, and then on the way back, we left late, and then we circled around Dallas for I don't know how the heck long, but way too long, because Air Force One was landing. So all the planes were circling. They were in a holding pattern. And I almost missed that connecting flight. Oh, it was so miserable. But I'm back finally. So yeah. So that's what I was doing. That's what I was away doing. And oh yes, and I got to meet Polly from Latino Slant, and also Chris Gore, because I went to their movie group meetup and knew I was not going to enjoy the movie. None of us enjoyed it. And I just went to hang with them. And we went to a restaurant after and hung out for a while. Talked a little with Polly, talked with Chris. Chris said he wanted to have me on his Versus show, but I have no idea when or what it will be about. So, yeah, Biden, he really annoyed me that day. That was not a good day. I think it might have helped if we hadn't left late. We left 25 minutes late. It wasn't considered a delay, but because we left late, then we're just like circling. And so, and then when I go to get on my second flight, they were asking for not only our boarding pass, which is normal, but our IDs as well, probably because extra security. So anyway, I'm glad that's over. I hate flying. Yeah, circling like vultures. Exactly.
Indeed.
I had no idea. I was looking at the app on my phone, and then I was looking at the browser, because you could get on, AAA. AAA. Oh my gosh. You can get on American Airlines. They have like a little site that you can monitor. And they were both very different. Like one was saying we're getting in 20 some minutes. The other was saying an hour and 15. And I was like, what is going on? And then the pilot comes over, the speaker, and says, oh, in case you haven't noticed, we've been flying in a holding pattern over Dallas. But oh my gosh. Oh, and then my flight from Dallas, when I was going to California, my flight from Dallas was delayed almost an hour and a half because of peeling paint on the plane.
Wow. They
had to track where this paint had started peeling because there was no documentation. Oh gosh. Such a mess. So I got to California 4 hours later than I was supposed to, and my brother had to come get me, and it was like 10 something, and he had to get up at 4 something in the morning because of his work. So that was a very, very frustrating day. Yeah, they've been ready. That's probably it. That's probably it. They knew.
and I'm monetized now, so they're going to be after me. I just did an hour ranting about George Lucas.
I didn't tune into that. That one was the one before the Troy and Age Boomers live stream.
Yeah, that
you had. Yeah, I couldn't tune in for that. I was working.
Yeah,
but I heard that you did some talking.
I did.
Well, I
kept it PG-13.
I don't know. I haven't been kind to Disney myself,
Mm.
and so far nothing's happened. I still receive screeners. In fact, I screened. They sent me Echo, and I ripped that thing to shreds. They sent me the first 3 episodes of Echo. They sent me an animated show called Iwaju, which I absolutely loved. I thought that was really good. Then they sent me 3 episodes of X-Men 97, which I enjoyed. But I know that in subsequent episodes there's probably some issues. And I'm currently screening something called Renegade Nell from Disney. So they haven't stopped giving me screeners, and they haven't there's been no communication from them about stop giving us bad reviews, or because I'm small fry, okay, compared to some of the big name critics. But I don't know. And they've been very lenient when it comes to copyright stuff. I never get flagged for copyright on anything Disney related. So, it's other companies that you'd be surprised that can be the hardest. It's weird. Yeah, dismal. I agree. Despite bright moments now and again with some of their content, they still just generally seem like they're going on a downward trend. I don't know when they're going to course correct. We'll see.
For Western Cinema Presents, Jedi Bill and I were watching Hidalgo of Viggo Mortensen, and that's a Disney film.
Oh, I mean,
when it went to VHS and DVD, they changed it to Touchstone, but it was initially a Disney film. And it's like, why can't you go back and just, you were doing so well,
right? I mean, I don't know.
You knew how to make good movies once.
I tell you, it feels like it's a dying art. That's why I get so excited when I encounter something that I enjoy a lot. Because it feels like those moments are fewer and fewer. I don't know.
Yes, it seems, and I've brought this up before, it seems like most movies these days are one and done.
A lot of them, yes.
A lot of them. And
and not a ton of originality. So originality. I saw Last Night with the Devil, and I felt like that was excellent. And it was very original, very well acted. It wasn't bloated, and there didn't appear to be any sort of messaging or whatever, like what we think of when we think of messaging or agenda or whatever. And that movie, it's getting generally positive reviews across the board, but it's also getting, what is it they call, review bombed negatively by people who have a very big burr up their behinds over the fact that there was some AI images generated for the movie. And they've said it's 3 AI images. Some people are claiming, oh, it's AI's all over the place. It's dripping with AI. No, it's not. But this movie was on a very tiny budget. I don't begrudge the use of AI as a tool to get your creative idea out there if it's done in a, pretty cool way. I would have never known it was AI. So, I don't know. I'm definitely leery of AI in certain respects when it comes to, like, don't put it in charge of our government military system. We all know how that's going to go. We saw Terminator, but if you've got someone who doesn't have a lot of funds at their disposal and they need something artistic, I have zero problems with them leaning on that as a tool to use. That's just me. So, Carl, I have not seen Poor Things. I have zero desire to see Poor Things. Like, none at all. I knew from the moment I saw the trailer. And then when I was listening to reviews and reading like what the story was about and how the story went and what it's fundamentally centered around, I knew that this was not going to be a movie for me. So I just didn't even. I listened to my gut on this one as opposed to when I saw Saltburn. But yeah.
Yeah. I have not seen Poor Things either. I'm more likely to watch it than Saltburn, but I'm not really in a hurry to see either one.
Yeah. Saltburn. Oh my gosh.
I think I have different reasons when it comes to Poor Things, because somebody at work was talking about that with me, and I went, how much of Mark Ruffalo do I have to sit through? And he goes, quite a bit. And I went,
oh, yeah. I just the whole storyline, I can't get on board with the direction that I know it goes in, and it's just, and I like Emma Stone, but no, this one, no. I know, like, there are some movies that you just know you're not going to like. And some people are like, oh, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge it before you've seen it. Well, no, if I'm seeing what the movie's about, I know I'm not going to like it if it deals with things that I'm just not going to like. This is not difficult. I don't know why some people have an issue. Like Barbie. I read what Barbie's about. I read the plot. I read all that. I knew I was not going to like that. So I never saw it. Anyway, I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, there are some movies I feel, I mean, I might not necessarily be interested, but I feel I have to see, because maybe I'll need to discuss them to get to another point, or or if I'm asked to come on like a round table or something,
and
discussing
you have
it.
to
Then,
like this. Yeah. Of course, that makes complete sense. There are some films that I'm not interested in. It doesn't necessarily mean, so like I wasn't interested in Oppenheimer, and I'm not generally interested in mobster movies, but there are films that I will go ahead and not necessarily in, like, the disinterest is just, that's just not my thing. Not because I absolutely know I'm going to hate the storyline, which I feel is a little bit of a difference there. So, I wasn't a huge fan of Oppenheimer, and I did mostly watch it just to do a review for the channel. I spent a good portion of the time watching it being annoyed because I didn't like how Christopher Nolan was telling the story. But, I didn't hate it. I just wasn't crazy about it.
I was about to make a point there. What was it?
I was wondering if maybe you'd gotten, like, your internet died or something and you weren't there anymore, and I was just staring at an avatar.
Yes, look at the avatar. It's just as it's just like
frozen.
Having me there.
He's frozen.
No, it actually is me. It's just it's a picture of me and Fletcher Williams, just put like this anime version over it.
Yeah, I could tell it's supposed to be you. It looks like you.
It is.
LA Confidential is very good.
Carl. It is. Yes. Yeah. And LA Confidential was interesting because it was very much a and I just remembered what I was going to say.
Okay, say it before you forget.
Okay. Some of the mystery movies were movies I wouldn't necessarily have gone to see, or I might have waited. Like Wicked Little Letters, which is one of the ones I saw while you were away, is not a movie I would have gone to have seen on my own. it's probably one I would have waited to watch online. So, you know, those can be a bit of a mixed bag. You know, I just thought it would be fun. And we kind of hit on it at the same time. It was, hey, why don't we just do this week to week? You know, it'd be fun. You know?
Yeah, because I want to talk about it with somebody.
You do, and so do I.
Yeah, you know? And so, you know, what I would do sometimes is the quick reviews in my car, and then, you know, you were doing these as well, so I'm glad we have these talks, because sometimes I like to kind of hash out my thoughts about it with somebody. So,
and
it's
hello
been nice.
Hello to Fluff Chick Productions, and Basco Scenario has joined us as well. So hello. Going back to LA Confidential, I saw LA Confidential under kind of a mystery movie type scenario.
Oh, really?
As well. So I hadn't read the book at that point. So I went into that movie completely blind. There was a local critic that was at my screening. So I actually got to talk to him a little bit. Bill Thompson, Post and Courier. If you're out there, sir, hope you're well. So yeah, and I actually got to discuss the movie with him for a little bit afterward.
Oh, cool.
So that was fun to do.
This was back when it first came out, or like,
yes,
was it? Oh, okay.
It was actually before. It was like an advanced screening.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was based on a book.
Oh yeah, and there is actually a sequel book.
Oh.
Yeah. With the
Did you read the book?
Eventually, I did. Yes.
Okay.
Well, spoiler alert for a book that's closing in on 40 years old now. The ending of the book is different. It's the same, but it's different.
It's the same, but it's different.
It's the same, but it's different. It happens, how they get there and where it happens is different.
Okay.
Now, at the end, they have this shootout at the Victory Motel. That actually happens at the beginning of the book.
Oh. Well, is the book told in flashback?
No.
Okay.
It's not Exley and White that they have the shootout with. It's the Buzz Meeks character that they have the shootout with.
Oh yeah.
And in the book, that's how he dies. And then that's how he winds up underneath Stensland's girlfriend's mother's house, because that's where he puts her. Like he does in the film. The shootout at the end actually happens in a train yard, and it's this basically it's this prison break, because there are prisoners on board the train, and Dudley, who is still the villain, spoiler alert, folks, again, he basically sets this prison break up and then sends White and Exley and Vincennes, who at that point in the book is still alive. He sends them into it. Vincennes gets killed. White gets all shot up. Exley knows Dudley's responsible for the whole thing, but he can't prove it yet. And that's where the sequel book comes in, which is called White Jazz, which is all about Exley going after Dudley.
Oh, okay. Was that any good?
Don't know. I haven't read the whole thing. I've just read like little bits and pieces. It's one of those I'd have to go out and look. But yeah. But if you like the LA Confidential movie, read the book and understand why they wanted to do it as a mini series for so long, because it is so dense and it's so labyrinthian and so much going on.
There was a lot going on in the movie.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the movie.
Yeah.
And the movie takes place over about 9 months to a year. The book takes place over 8 years.
Oh wow, they really compressed time.
They really did. And there's a serial killer subplot where White's going after a serial killer.
That wasn't even part of the movie at all.
Wasn't even part of the film, and it figures into the ending of the book as well, because that guy shows up during the whole riot prison break thing to kill White, and he's the one who actually shoots up White. And then Bud beats him to death, breaks both of his hands, beating him to death. It's really gnarly. The ending of that book is so gnarly.
Who wrote it?
James Ellroy.
Oh, James Ellroy, isn't it? Okay, yeah. Okay, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Is he the guy? Oh no. I know who that is, but I was confusing him with the guy who wrote the Justified character.
Oh, you're thinking of Elmore
Leonard, yes.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember what other things of James Ellroy that I've read. Mm-hmm. Did he write the Black Dahlia book?
Black Dahlia was his.
Yeah. I listened to that. It wasn't crazy. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. The main character was annoying. But that might have been the only one of his I've listened to.
So yeah, if you like the LA Confidential movie, see the book. I mean, read the book. See the book. Well, you will be seeing the book or listen to it. Yeah, I'm sure there's an audio version out there somewhere.
Yeah, there has to be.
And if you get the anniversary DVD, they have an unaired pilot for a TV series version.
Oh.
That's actually pretty interesting as well.
Same actors or totally different cast?
Different actor. Kiefer Sutherland.
Really?
playing Vincennes. But they don't have White. So he's kind of a cross between White and Vincennes. They kind of mixed the two. It's a little weird. But did you ever see The Ghost Whisperer?
That was a show with Jennifer Love Hewitt, right?
All right. The guy who played her husband in that show
I don't remember
was Exley.
Who that was. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so yeah, there was a pilot, and that's all it got.
That's interesting.
Yeah, just an interesting
little
tidbit. Go out and locate that. Okay. We have in the chat, Sashi said, I had to watch Roadhouse 2024 through indirect means recently. We don't have Amazon Prime here.
Says the camera work. Seen that one yet? I've heard about some of the fight scenes.
I've heard mixed things about it. Yeah,
same.
The trailer didn't impress me.
I didn't see the trailer. I am staying away from trailers more and more now, you guys. Like, seriously, I am avoiding some of them at all cost. If they come on in the movie theater, I'm like this. If it has to do with a movie that I'm very, very much interested in, I'm still annoyed, like I said, about the reveal in the Abigail trailer. That really ticked me off.
Yeah, that was. Why don't you just show us the whole movie?
Just tell us the entire plot, idiots. It's just so aggravating.
Okay. Yeah. I swear, if Abigail is the movie tomorrow night, oh no.
I actually want to see it.
I hope it's not.
I want to see it. didn't want to know this thing. So I didn't see the trailer for Immaculate, so I had no idea what the premise was. I mean, I knew it was like a horror movie with this nun and at this convent, but I did not know what the storyline was supposed to be. And I'm glad. I just knew I was interested because it looked interesting, and I went and I was glad I didn't know what it was.
Sashi, do you mean Conor McGregor? I kind of want to see the movie just for him because I heard he's so crazy in it.
Oh, Conor McGregor was in there?
Conor McGregor, yeah.
Oh, no. Was he playing Conor McGregor?
He's basically, yeah, from what I hear.
Oh, God.
They're already... There's already the joke that Conor McGregor doesn't know he's in the movie. He just wandered onto the set and they filmed it. You know what? That's what there's. So I'm
That's
like,
funny.
yeah, I figured, yeah. So
I am interested to see it just for him.
Yeah,
just
I'm
to see
curious
what sort of shenanigans he gets up to in that movie.
Yeah. So you're kind of hoping that it is Abigail tomorrow night, or?
I mean, I wouldn't mind it because I am going to see it. Yeah. I guess I don't know. We'll find out. What were some other things that were discussed? Sting?
Well, Sting, which I think is more likely what it will be.
Okay.
Hey, giant killer spider. Okay. Why not? Haven't had one of those in a while.
Oh, I think also I had seen speculation that it might be the first Omen.
But that's out because they've never done a sequel or a prequel before.
Oh, they haven't?
No.
Well,
that could change.
I was getting ready to say they'd never done a Mystery Movie Monday just days before the actual release either. And they did that with Lisa Frankenstein.
And they've done that a few times now.
Yeah.
I know Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 was brought up.
I hope it's not that. I've heard that brought up too. Oh my goodness, please no. No, please. Oh no,
I'd rather watch that over Abigail.
Oh gosh, really? So you're not at all like, what is it about Abigail that you're not into?
The trailer.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm still interested in the
trailer,
story.
and there's an individual in it that I think the less I have to hear, the better. Frankly,
are you referring to Melissa Barrera?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Stick to the singing and the dancing. I don't need to hear your politics. And
well,
I'm that way with most of them now. So
yeah. Hey, Cheetah.
Here for the questions with interview.
I'm gonna be on his channel on Tuesday night at 8. He has like this.
Oh, right on.
Thing, yeah. 8 questions with, and I'll be the guest that night. So, looking forward to it.
I'll have to catch the replay on that because
you'll be busy,
right about that,
you're always streaming.
I'm going to be busy. I have a couple of live streams that night, so I'm going to be doing my monetization live / 2-year anniversary / 2K subs stream. That's going to be at about 5, and then I have to wrap that up at around 8 so I can get started on my Twin Peaks retrospective.
Yes.
So 8:30.
Right.
So I'm going to be kind of a full day at work and then kind of straight into all night on YouTube.
You just come home and hit the ground running with the
jump
live
right
streaming.
in. Yeah. Says so everybody go over to Have Cheetah Review. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. He's got some interesting content over there. And of course, join him Tuesday night for his interview with Zen. All right. Saw Spaceman, which had a giant spider in it. It was okay, nothing special. I haven't seen Spaceman yet.
I was interested in Spaceman. And then I realized that Adam Sandler is the lead, and he is like does absolutely zero for me as an actor. Like there's just, but I had no idea it had a giant spider in it.
Yeah.
It seems like is it like it's like a horror type of thing or something like that? Definitely out of his typical sort of genre that he's in, but then he was also in Uncut Gems, which is out of his typical genre. And I heard he was really good in that.
Yeah, I've heard. I still haven't seen it.
Me either. Oh, it's not horror? Okay, well, shoot.
No.
Definitely not interested.
The only giant spider movie I love is Eight-Legged Freaks.
I saw that a long time ago.
Wasn't them spiders?
Or
no, that was ants. It was something like that. That was ants. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Speaking of spider movies, I really loved Arachnophobia. That is a fun film.
Yeah. Everybody's telling me ants. There was ants.
Yeah, I think I saw that years ago. Like when I was on an airplane, I think I had that movie on my computer, and so to try to distract me from my fear of flying, I was watching that movie. Kingdom of the Spiders. Okay.
Kingdom of the Spiders. Yeah, with the Shatner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Birthday Weekend, 93.
Wow, this guy, I tell you.
Also, Captain Kirk. Yes.
There was a documentary that came out about him so there's this company called Legion M. It's a production company or something like that. And it's basically a fan-supported company. So like you can buy stocks in this company, which I did when they first started up. I started buying shares in the company, and I haven't bought every single time they go on sale, but I've bought a few rounds. So you get like you get newsletters or whatever mailings about the different projects that they are getting involved in, and that one was one of them. And I think it was playing at a theater somewhere here, but I wasn't able to go see it. But I might check it out sometime when it's on streaming.
Yeah, I have a friend who was going to a screening, but I haven't heard back from her yet on it. So,
okay.
I know she's a Shatner fan, so I think she's going to like it either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely. Food of the Gods is giant rats.
food of the gods. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's no, I think that was like a late 70s, early 80s film, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a couple of those. Let's see. You said you saw a movie while you were out in LA? Which one was that?
Oh, it was the American Society of Magical Negroes. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I knew I wouldn't like it. There were some laugh out loud moments, but as a whole, it was awful. No one in our group liked it. So yeah, that was I suffered through that just so I could hang with Chris and Polly. And I got to meet Dante from Verbal Riot, so that was nice.
Nice. And only hello 3. To
Sorry, Connie. Hey Connie. I was distracted by that comment.
3 of the original crew left. Yeah.
Crazy. I didn't realize it was only 3.
Yeah. I cannot. Oh yeah, 3. Shatner, Walter Koenig, and George Takei. They're it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang. That's sobering.
Yeah. But years ago, came home from school, caught the very end of a movie with an old woman in bed knitting with giant spiders all around the room. She was talking to them like pets.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, that's not good. that's that meme, drinking coffee while the place is on fire. I am fine with the situation. No.
Yeah, no thanks.
Okay, well, let's get down to brass tacks.
Okay.
Let's get to what everybody has been waiting for, and that, of course, is the first of our 14-part debate on Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
A 14-part debate.
Our 14-part.
Oh, this movie. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah. You said you probably enjoyed it more than me. Probably, because I did not like it at all.
I seem to have liked it not as much as some, but better than most, apparently.
Oh, okay. Okay. If you want to know what I really feel about Ghostbusters, all you have to do is watch my little rant about it. Okay, so Cheetah, it was the day after I had gotten home from California, and I was a little sleep deprived, and I go to see it, and I start falling asleep during the film. And part of it was because the movie was not interesting to me. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about the storyline. The humor fell flat. I didn't like Phoebe. I was just like so ready for it to be over. The original cast couldn't even save it. And the other guy that was in it, gosh, I can never remember his name. The dude who was like the fire, whatever. I mean, some of his lines, yeah, him. I'm so bad with names. Some of his lines were kind of, okay. But it just, oh my goodness, I was so ready for this thing to be done. I was very agitated at how little I cared about it, especially because I had enjoyed the first one quite a bit. And I expected that I would enjoy this one at least to the same degree, and I really didn't. It aggravated me to no end. I know there's some people that did enjoy it. Several people that didn't. I'm glad you at least had fun with it. I considered it a complete waste of my time. That was one of the movies where I was like, wow, I really wish I hadn't come to see this film.
Well,
yeah.
I admit it's flawed.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah. Was this one more slapstick humor? No.
It was not really. Like it just. So for me, obviously, this is also subjective, Cheetah. If you watch it, you may end up really enjoying it. Okay, that's right. They did change directors. The original cast had more presence in this one than in the previous one, but I just don't feel like they were utilized very well. And there were also some weird editing things that were happening, like I don't like one guy showing up, one of the original cast members, I don't remember his name. He shows up before the big battle. He just is like all of a sudden he's just there and he's in his suit and he's just there so that he can get suited up. I don't know. That transition was odd. And then people going off and doing their thing it just felt like it was very clunkily put together. And then Phoebe, her little relationship with this ghost chick and that whole thing about the other dimension or world or whatever, like how would this ghost even have like the whole, how so the baddie could do what he needed to do, Phoebe had to do this particular thing. Number one, how would the ghost have even known that this was something Phoebe could potentially do? How convenient. It just like it felt so contrived and it just didn't work, and the whole thing was just, I don't know, I'm still in a foul mood that I spent a couple hours of my life on this movie. What did you like about it, Deleted? I'm sorry. I'm just kind of barreling through here with all my negativity.
Well, I mean, there are some cons. No, all of the humor doesn't work.
Yeah.
There are some laugh out loud moments, not as many as I would have preferred, but they're there. I like the Phoebe character. I think she's a little Egon. I think that's where they're going with her. You know, if she's eventually going to become him. She just needs a little push.
She was quite unlikable in this one for me. She didn't work for me.
Okay.
I mean, if she worked for you, but there was just something. She just rubbed me wrong. She was just pouty and just annoying. And she wasn't in the first one. That's the thing. It's like it felt tonally quite different from the first film. So I don't know.
I think people are reading too much into the whole Phoebe Melody relationship. Because I think there are people who are reading more into that than...
Okay, so it doesn't really go anywhere, but
no,
it definitely does come across that those are the undertones. It just never actually crosses over into that area blatantly. But I picked up on, yeah, for sure. And I was like, is this just me or... But then I saw other people talking about it. It was discussed on Film Threat. I think the folks at Film Threat, they liked it more than I did, for sure. It's nothing blatant. So, like, if you're worried about anything blatant, you know, young kids are probably not going to pick up on that. But I think adults will definitely notice, it definitely looks like they're hinting at, you know. But then you could also turn it around. You could also explain it away as like, well, she's very lonely and she wants to have a connection. This is the
first real friend she's had.
Yeah.
And it just turns out to be a ghost.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, like, I think it was the folks at Shogun. I'm getting distracted with the Shogun.
The Shogun. Comments. Yeah, we'll get to that.
I think it was the folks at Film Threat. They were talking about something that I really found unbelievable, is that this little teenager's walking around Central Park going to play chess in the middle of the night and nothing happens. Like, she's completely safe and there's nobody there. Yeah. That's fine.
It's definitely an idealized New York.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So
what was your favorite part?
My favorite part. There were a few. I like that whole third act where you got to see the OG guys back in action again. Pretty much anything Dan Aykroyd.
Okay.
Because he is, as far as I'm concerned, the second lead in the film. I like that. Let's see. Bill Murray's funny. I like that little bit with him. When we first see him back in the movie. I like that. I thought Paul Rudd was fine, even though he's basically just playing himself.
Even Paul Rudd
but
didn't work for me.
He plays himself pretty well.
Yeah, he does.
I like the mom because I just like her. I'm just at that point now. But yeah, you know, it's these little things that they sprinkled throughout that I just liked.
Are you a fan of the original Ghostbusters? Like, do you really? Because I'm not. I mean, it's okay. I'm not super crazy about it. I'm wondering if people that are really big fans of the franchise might give it a little bit more, or might be a little bit more forgiving in their feeling about it.
I like the original movies. Yeah. This is the lesser of the films. Don't get me wrong. It is.
Yeah.
It is a bit scattershot. All of the Patton Oswalt stuff, you could have cut him out and just given all of that to Aykroyd. So I understand objecting there. I didn't mind him. It's 5 minutes to cameo and he's out. Let's see. I've only been talking about this in reviews for 2 days. I should know. You know, it's fine. It's not reinventing the wheel. But at the same time, I didn't feel like I wasted my time seeing it. You know,
well, I'm glad
it's a rental.
Like that for you, yeah.
But you know, it's because the thing about it is the things that I went into worrying was going to bring the movie down for me didn't.
Okay, what was that?
That was the thing. Patton Oswalt didn't bother me. Again, you could have given his stuff to Aykroyd and streamlined the movie a bit, but didn't bother me. Kumail Nanjiani didn't bother me. I thought that was a nice little arc. Could it have been written a little bit better? Sure. But that didn't bother me. I like that they brought Peck back. How the hell is he mayor? I don't know. Who is he running against? A lizard?
The baddie?
William Atherton. Yeah.
That whole thing felt so cartoony and just... It was so over the top for me.
Well, he was over the top in the first movie.
It's been a bit since I remember since I've seen the first movie, so I don't remember a ton about it, but I don't know. Oh my gosh. I'm still feeling pretty salty about this thing. And
okay.
like Paul Rudd, even he didn't work for me. It was just weird. And the whole, that line where he's quoting the Ghostbusters song, I was just like, ugh. You know, that scene with the mom, that's just, it was so frustrating. I don't know. I guess the sweet magic of the previous film, it just... Also, I wasn't super crazy that it was back in New York. I don't know. I guess maybe they were going for that feeling of nostalgia for, the original fans. And, sounds like it captured that for some people. But, yeah. Yeah, I wish we could agree on this one, but sadly.
Well, it's like I said, there are some people who liked it better than I did. I liked it better than apparently most, but but these people who are like reading like the identity agenda into it, or
no, I didn't. That was not. I mean, I agree. I mean, even if you're talking about like the the whole thing with the ghost and Phoebe, even if you read that subtext into it, it was so what's the word? It was so subtle. I do definitely think it was there, but it was so subtle that it wasn't anything that was just like smacking you over the head. I didn't pick up on any sort of agenda, whatever. It's just to me, it just wasn't a very effective, like Madam Web. I mean, I didn't pick up on agenda stuff with Madam Web either. It just wasn't a good movie to me.
Well, the difference between Ghostbusters and Madam Web is Ghostbusters was a finished film.
Yeah.
Whereas Madam Web was an assembly cut that should not have been in theaters.
Yeah, that was what a mistake that film was. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's good to see at least that the actors, like let's say Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney, they're not getting butthurt that it was panned and disliked.
No.
They're taking it they're being a very good sport about it. So that makes me feel like they weren't fully on board with the direction that whole process went anyway. So, yeah.
So anyway, and going back to Ghostbusters, what I did like is I did like the new character. Well, I mean, there were a couple new characters, but the new character that I think could get carried over into another film was Lars, the James Alicastor character. I liked him.
Wait, remind me who
he was Winston's guy, the engineer, the British guy.
Oh, okay.
He was good.
He got like didn't something happen to his hand?
Yeah, the hand got frozen. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
For a little while. He doesn't lose it or anything.
I had almost completely forgotten about his character.
And hello to Darth Plato. All right. Well, moving on from Ghostbusters. Let's go back to the chat here momentarily. I have a few. Carl says everyone seems to like the Shogun remake. So far, not particularly taken with it myself. So far, the 80s version was better.
Okay.
Well, the 80s version definitely had more time to, because you had a couple of hours per episode. 1980. It was on NBC originally back in the day, if I remember correct.
I never saw that. I didn't read the book. I've been hearing, so my brother started watching Shogun, and he said he didn't feel like he was enjoying it as much as he wanted because there was a lot of cultural stuff that he just didn't understand. And there's someone on Twitter that I was conversing with a little bit. I think she's a local movie critic, and she was saying that something that helped her was there's a podcast about Shogun. So I guess after every episode, they have a podcast and they break down these different cultural things that maybe us Westerners, we have no clue, like what was the significance? I don't understand this. I don't understand that. And so I think if I start watching Shogun, which I am interested to watch it, I do like the main actor in there. He's in everything. But I think what I'm going to do is do the watch an episode, then go listen to the podcast so I can fully understand, because there are some times where there are things that happen in movies where cultural stuff gets kind of lost in translation for me. I remember making a comment when I saw the anime Suzume that there was something that a character I felt overreacting to, and I didn't understand this thing. And people came and they, in the comments, and they explained, or at least one person came and explained, well, the reason she had this reaction is because in Japan, this particular behavior is considered very uncouth and taboo. Whereas, and it was smoking. It was a guy smoking a cigarette in public or whatever. And she had this reaction that was like, what? Why are you gasping that this guy is smoking, And apparently that's not a cool thing in Japanese culture. And so, okay, that makes more sense to me now. I wish I'd kind of known that. And there's other things, where stuff like that has happened. So I want to understand it as much as I can. So I'll probably do the podcast listening.
Well,
this is your wheelhouse. Okay.
I don't know how they do this new series, but in the original, they did kind of explain certain things.
Okay.
Because they had the the narration, which I think was Orson Welles. I don't remember for sure. It's been so long since I've seen it. I need to sit down and watch it again. Plus, I had the added benefit of watching it with my dad, who had served in Okinawa, so he knew Japanese culture and he knew all of this going in.
Interesting.
So, okay. I didn't have to go very far. Darth Plato says series does get some things wrong though. Yeah, I've heard that. It says new version seems rushed story wise. Yeah, I don't think. Well, like I said, the NBC version was like 2 hours an episode over nearly a couple of weeks. This is like 8 episodes that are an hour long. You're going to lose some things. And the original was Blackthorn centric. You're supposed to learn through his eyes along the line. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was very much. He was very much an audience character in that version.
So it's told from his point of view, and the audience is learning along with him.
Yeah.
Where is that? What network is that on, or is that an Apple TV?
FX, I think.
Oh, FX
and Hulu.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so that's where I can access it.
This is current series focuses on Japanese politics. What's happening? Political stories, extremely intricate. Yeah, it is. Even in the original miniseries, it was. Yeah.
Speaking of series.
So yeah, okay.
There's a series I started watching, and I really liked it for the first 4 episodes. Then my brother and I kind of picked, because he had gotten more than halfway through it, so we continued to watch some more of it while I was there, and we didn't finish. There's maybe 1 or 2 episodes left, and boy, talk about a series that goes downhill halfway through. I am so annoyed with this. Monarch. You guys seen Monarch? No? You're silent, so I guess you have.
Not ringing any bells, no.
Okay. So Monarch is it's on Apple TV, and it's tied in
the Godzilla thing. Yes. Okay, yeah.
Yes. Right. And I was super interested to watch it because, it had 3 things, 2 main things going for it. The Godzilla, the whole, not that I'm super huge into Godzilla, but I'd definitely rather watch something like that than a chick flick or whatever. So that, but then also Kurt Russell and his son working together. And I love Kurt Russell. Oh my goodness gracious. It starts off really solid, and it's crashing and burning for me now. At this point, I'm pissed at the show. I'm not even interested to finish it. And I don't know. So yeah. Okay. So that one did too. I'd been hearing it was really good. I hate it when how hard can this be, you guys? We're not talking about a show that's multiple seasons long. Like Dexter was one of the best shows on TV, and that thing started crashing and burning after season 5. Game of Thrones went from being one of the best ever, and that just completely tanked at the end. We're talking about a mini series that's just a few episodes long. You should be able to you should be able to have strong writing. And I don't understand this. It's super annoying. Like, characters that I started liking at the beginning, I'm starting to vehemently dislike. And it's so, like, yeah, it did, Darth. Absolutely. Maybe Cheetah, maybe that's what it is, that we just can't do Godzilla very well at all.
Well, I think Godzilla -1 proved that.
Oh, absolutely. That was such an excellent film. Gee whiz. I'm just so I'm so frustrated with terrible writing. So that's my second vent for the day. Vented about Ghostbusters. Now I'm venting about Monarch. Yeah, I just remembered that because we were talking about, like, this miniseries show. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I'm sorry, Darth. I just noticed that you noticed the decline in Monarch. Like, characters doing stupid stuff, the writing not making any sense. Yeah. House of the Dragon. I was never interested to watch House of the Dragon. Yeah, I blame Martin, but I also blame the show writers, or what is it, Benioff and Weiss or whatever.
Benioff and Weiss,
yeah. I blame them because I definitely blame Martin because he's taken way too long to finish this series. To me, it's inexcusable, but they proved that they can't write worth a darn. That's what they proved to us. And wow. I'm still very angry about that show. I don't even my brother got me the first 3 seasons on DVD. I don't ever want to watch it again. That's how annoyed I am by Game of Thrones.
Well, the first season annoyed me because they killed off all the actors I knew.
Well, that's how the story goes.
I know
that's
that.
The thing,
But they killed off all these people that I had the emotional attachment to. Now I'm stuck the rest of the way with all of these characters that I didn't like to begin with. And, it just got sort of super boring for me. I was out after season 2 on Game of Thrones, to be honest.
Some of the characters, it was interesting the way it was done in the first half plus. Characters that you didn't like initially, you started to see there was so much more nuance to them and they became more interesting. Like, I started to like the Hound, despite how flawed he was. And Jaime Lannister became more likable. And then other people that you start off liking that I personally ended up intensely disliking and actively wishing they would be killed off. And one of those was Arya, and she's like a fan favorite. I could not stand her. The writing that they did with Jon Snow and the Night King was ridiculous. It was so, all of this lead up, and it ends up being freaking Arya that jumps in and kills. What the heck? This makes no sense at all. It's just, that made me so angry.
Brandon's the Kwisatz Haderach. No, he isn't. He's just a kid who got pitched off out of a window. That's it. No. Hound, there's nothing sweeter than killing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad there are people who like that show. You got hoodwinked there, folks. I'm sorry. It's just George R.R. Martin screwed you over just like George Lucas screwed the Star Wars fans over.
They should have let him write all the screenplays of the final few seasons.
Yeah.
That's what they should have let him do. Maybe it would have ended up okay. But Lord have mercy. What a mess.
Brienne of Tarth. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you Brienne. Yeah.
She grew up. I mean, I didn't necessarily dislike her, but the more she was around, the more I did care about her as a character.
Brienne of Tarth. You've been with fucking Brienne of Tarth. Yeah, I've seen how she looks at you. Like she's going to cut your liver out and eat it. Oh, so you do know her. Like... yeah.
Yes, Sashi, we are absolutely roasting Game of Thrones. I'm just kind of on a rant right now about poorly written stories.
Game of Thrones was based on War of the Roses. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have heard this. And absolutely, Cheetah. He's like, and you know what else? I wonder. This is what I think too. I think the story got away from him, and he honestly does not know how to finish it. That's what I think has happened. and I have no interest at all. And even if he, flies through the rest of the series, gets it published before he happens to pass away or whatever, I have no interest in returning to it. That's how much the stupid show ruined this entire franchise for me.
Anyway. I mean, don't get us wrong, folks. We're not telling you not to watch any of these. If you enjoy it, great, but everything's not going to land with everybody,
We're just complaining.
Yeah.
It's true. And that is the thing. Yes, all of this is totally subjective. And what I don't understand is why some people seem to take it so doggone personal if someone doesn't like something the way they did or doesn't dislike something to the same level that they did. It's so odd to me. Now, nobody necessarily, in our little YouTube movie lover community, I've never really encountered this with anybody that I've interacted with in our groups, and on our live streams. Everybody's been respectful, but you see a lot of that sort of weird toxic behavior on places like Twitter. Is very odd. But I don't understand why this is hard. Some people just dislike something. It doesn't land for them, and that's not a bad reflection on you if you happen to love it. I'm just very vocal about whether I don't like something or not. I've never read Wheel of Time. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I haven't either. Even though I should, because the author lived down here, so I should.
Okay.
Yeah. Said Robert Jordan is a horrible writer. Well, people like the books. It's the TV series that they made from it that they seem to have the issue with.
Yeah, I was never interested to watch that.
Yeah. Okay.
Neo sounds cool. It's okay. Really, the books are readable? Yeah.
Aren't there? Well, there's so many of them. It's just that I don't know if I really want to dive into a series that's that long right now.
And there's so many other books that I'm interested to read. If something just doesn't strike my fancy, I'm just not going to waste or spend my time on it when there's so many other options that do intrigue me. So
I like Terry Goodkind Sword of Truth books.
Never read those either.
Cheetah says I gave up on book 2. He's talking about Wheel of Time. I want to start reading the Dune books and see where that story ultimately goes. I mean, I know a little bit, like you said in the round table, but I want to go back and read all the books, especially the Frank Herbert. Thanks. Sword of Truth rocks. Okay, so we got 2 pro Sword of Truth in the chat here. Okay, I have to keep that in mind. One series I want to go back to and read, and there's 6 or 7 of them now, and that's the Murderbot Diaries.
I have never heard of this.
Martha Wells, is a science fiction series about this robot that becomes self-aware, and
Murderbot.
He's kind of a jerk. He always winds up doing he always winds up kind of doing the right thing,
Oh, really?
Because really? He's supposed to be kind of despite himself, because that's kind of his job, is to sort of protect this human crew and sort of be out front and take the first hit should anything go wrong, right? But when he becomes self-aware, he's like, this whole taking the first hit thing, Nah.
Murderbot. I'm gonna have to check this out. Look it up. Murderbot Diaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, never heard of this. How many books?
I think there's like 6 or 7 of them now.
Okay.
Carl says the Dune books are good, the movies not so much. Yeah. The Sci-Fi Channel miniseries version, I think, is the best adaptation so far, and even that leaves stuff out. But my advice would be check the miniseries version out. I think you'll enjoy it better. The Spice Diver edit of the David Lynch version, I think, is good. Yeah, Dune 2, just the more I think about it, the more it downgrades in my mind.
Yeah, I enjoyed there's some movies that I've seen since then that I've enjoyed more than Dune 2, but I'm not a huge Dune fan, so well, I mean, even really big Dune fans have had issues with the second movie.
And yes, on Thursday, things trying it with Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge After Dark are going to be watching the Spice Diver cut Thursday night. That'll be at 10, which is when I'm going to be doing my my Thursday show at 9 o'clock instead of 11:30. So
okay.
Says, remember the protagonist in the Sword of Truth books came across a group of people who behaved like people on Twitter. Ouch. I liked the Legend of the Secret TV series, but wished Craig Parker wasn't the bad guy. Yeah. Yeah, I can't see him as a villain, but
I think I started watching that years ago, but I never finished Legend of the Seeker.
Costume, etc. in the series Dune are too cheesy for me. Yes. All right. Understandable. Okay.
I started watching that actually not long after I saw the second movie, and I started watching it because I heard it did a better job. And I immediately was more drawn to and cared more about the characters than I did in the Denis Villeneuve movies. Like, I feel this weird clinical sort of distance, emotional distance between myself and the characters. The only character that I actually felt some emotional connection with and attachment to was the character that Oscar Isaac played in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is kind of, it feels, that's why someone referred to the director's style as very clinical. And I feel like that's just the perfect way to describe Wheel of Time. Rosamund Pike.
Yeah, she's probably the only reason I'd watch it. Yeah. And hello to Bruce McFadden.
Yep, cold, emotionally cold and dead. That's very accurate. That's how I felt.
The new one certainly is. Yeah, I agree. There. Of both Dune TV series and its follow up on the DVD box sets. Yeah. GOT sucks overall. Started off awesome, but by season 4, things started to fall apart. Yeah.
Yes, it didn't fall apart for me until after it got to where there were no more books. Then that's when it completely.
But yeah, what's good? Remind me, Um, did you get a chance to finish Late Night with the Devil, or
Oh yes, I did.
you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Could you go into like a non-spoilery?
Yeah. This is another one where I'm glad I didn't watch the trailer. I heard about this movie last year and it seemed very intriguing. And then um I was sent okay, so I was sent an email where they were listing different places where they had, screenings, but they said if you can't attend, you can request a screener. So I requested a screener link. They also indicated that there was a potential possibility to interview the directors and David, oh gosh, Desmalchian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to call him Dalmatian, but I know I'm so bad with names. And I was traveling, or I had just gotten back from traveling. I couldn't request. And then I was like, well, I haven't seen it, and I don't have time to see it. So and the cutoff for the interview request was the 22nd. So I did eventually. My brother said, you really should try. So I did write back and said, look, I was traveling. If there's any more, if by chance anything opens up, I would like to request an interview with either of them. So they said there might be a possibility. So you never know. But I watched it in segments. Like I watched it, I think, over the course of 3 or 4 nights. It's not a long movie. The premise is very interesting, and I feel like the acting was really well done, and it definitely feels like you're watching something that was filmed in the 70s, just like The Holdovers felt like.
Oh, yeah.
And it's eerie, like it was very creepy for me because there is a character who's on there, and I think this is shown in the trailer. There's a character, so basically it's about this late night talk show host. His ratings are down, he's wanting to become number one, maybe like to get his contract renewed or whatever. And so on Halloween night in 1977, he has like it's very thematic. It's like he has a medium on, and he has like a magician guy on, and he has this woman come on with this girl that is possessed by a demon or whatever. And as the show goes on, things get weirder and weirder and like more creepy, and it shows the clips of when the show is supposed to be live, and then when they will go to break because something crazy happens, they go to break, and then it's showing behind the scenes stuff and how they're getting prepped for the next episode and all this different sort of bickering and stuff that's going on behind the scenes. And then it just gets incrementally creepier and creepier and worse and worse and worse. And there's parts of you're watching it and you're thinking, like, is this real? What's really going on and what's going to happen? And I mean, there's actually something supernatural is going on, but there's also parts that take place during the story that make you question, because there is a skeptic on there, and he's like, well, I can explain how this is happening because of this and this and this, and he gives a demonstration of how this can all be. It was crafted really well. There was no fat on this movie. It's only about 92 minutes long. And yeah, it's really, if you like horror, if you like also, I guess, period piece type of horror, which I really enjoy horror from the 70s and 80s. To me, that's some of my favorite eras in horror. Even if it's a terrible movie and the acting is bad and the special effects are bad, there's something to me that's still very enjoyable about horror from those decades. So, yeah, I recommend watching it. And if you can't see it, if it doesn't come to your area, it will be on Shudder next month. Yeah, IFC Film strikes again. I was very impressed. I felt like I would like it, but I really, really enjoyed it. I mentioned, I filmed my review for it last night. Going to try to get that up on Tuesday. And I was mentioning how there were moments that when certain things were happening, that I just imagined the look on my face was that look that you've seen people get when they're watching something that's just completely captivating them. You're like, what's going to happen? Oh my gosh, this is really creepy. That girl is creepy. The girl who plays the possessed teenager, she was so unsettling. Just even when she was acting normal, she was very unsettling. And you'll know what I mean whenever you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I definitely, that's a recommend for me, for sure.
Yeah. There's a couple of horror movies that seem interesting. We have, and again, without going into spoilers, you've seen Immaculate as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on that one?
I did like a little sort of out of my car, like out of the theater sort of review for that. I enjoyed it. I'm not super in love with it. I didn't hate it. And I'm glad I had no idea what the premise was, because I feel like that helped me enjoy it more. If I'd seen the trailer, I would have gone in just, yeah. There's some people might feel like there's some messaging in there about certain subjects. I guess maybe if you could read that into it, that wasn't something that I'm trying not to give away too much in case you guys haven't seen the trailer and you don't know the premise. Maybe you'll know exactly what I'm talking about by the time you watch the film. And if you end up watching it, I'll talk more at length about it with you if you want.
Okay.
But the way it's written, you can kind of understand certain things that happen.
I see. Well, like I said, there are a couple that haven't been released yet that seem interesting. One where the trailer of it really knocked my socks off was In a Violent Nature.
Oh, I haven't seen the trailer for that.
And
this is a horror.
It's a horror film, yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
The best way to describe it would be Friday the 13th, but it's Jason's point of view.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh. And that looked really interesting. I went, damn, that trailer is almost like a short film in itself. I mean, you know.
Oh, dang. When is it coming out?
I think it comes out. Oh, and Greg told me. I think it's supposed to be in May. It might come out before that. But yeah, that looked interesting.
Okay.
There's another one that I don't know if it's in theaters or if it's already on VOD. Stop motion. That looks
stop motion.
That looks interesting. What were your thoughts?
I didn't like it.
Oh.
Chris Gore and I had a difference of opinion on that one. We talked about that a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, I did a review on it. The concept was interesting. The stop motion was very well done, and the stop motion parts in it were very well done. But that movie started to feel like very artsy fartsy to me, and it didn't work for me. Now, it's very. I feel like it's got people are very divided on how they feel about that one. Chris, when he did his review for it, he was saying it is not going to be for everybody. I loved it, but it's not going to be for everybody. And yeah, I agree with him on that. It's definitely not going to be for everybody. I have been seeing trailers for, just trailers in front of movies that they've been, I have actually, there are some trailers I watch. And this particular one, it's got Nicolas Cage in it, and it's for a movie called Longlegs.
Oh, Longlegs. Yes. Okay. That one looks really good too.
And the cool thing about that trailer, and I'm not going to complain about that one, because that trailer does not tell you anything.
Now there
Well,
are
the
a few
ones I've
trailers
seen.
for it. It doesn't tell you anything at all, really.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Yeah, so the ones I've seen, they haven't indicated, like, I have no clue. It's just imagery. You see these different images, but you have no idea what the premise actually is. That's the way you got to do a trailer. I mean, obviously get the point across that it's a horror,
Yeah.
right? Which it does, but don't tell us the entire synopsis. Don't do this. And that's what that trailer does. And I'm interested.
I mean, they were 3 trailers in before they even told you the title of the movie.
Oh, really? So I've been seeing the
Yeah.
one where you know the title because it starts off with these weird cryptic looking characters, and then you see the full, at the end you see the full
Yeah.
the full title.
If
And then
if
you don't even see, I don't think you even, I didn't see Nicolas Cage in the trailer at all. I only knew he was in it because his name shows up at the very end.
he is in that final trailer.
I didn't notice
But
it was him.
if you blink, you miss him.
I must have been blinking.
The guy who looks like he's an albino.
I don't even remember that guy.
That's Cage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the albino guy is Cage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. If they show the trailer again, I'll try to pay. If they show the trailer tomorrow, I'll try to pay attention.
Yeah. But that looks really good. It's got the actress in it who is in Watcher and It Follows. So yeah,
yes,
and
her. Yeah,
written and directed by Osgood Perkins, who's Anthony Perkins' son.
Ooh.
So
really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's interesting.
That looks interesting.
Okay.
Cheetah says, I still want to see stop motion. Nailing Franciosi is a terrific actor. She is.
Her acting was fine. Her acting
I liked her
fine.
in I liked her in Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah, she is a good actor. I wasn't crazy about that movie. But she was fine in there. She's good in here. And Cheetah, you might love stop motion. You might be one of those ones that really clicks with, but that it didn't work for me.
She was in that movie. I didn't see it, but I first heard of her through a movie called The Nightingale.
Oh yes, I've heard of this movie.
An Australian film.
I heard it's rough.
Yeah,
I
heard
that
really
interested to watch it.
I think it was more the runtime that made me back off of that one in the end. But yeah, she was so in Nightingale. Yeah. But I might get around to it. There's like this group of movies that I had planned to see, and then now years have gone by and I never got around to them, that I kind of want to go back to. Nightingale's one of them. There's this movie called The Duke of Burgundy that I want to go back and see.
Is that a horror?
Point of view, I guess, would have been.
Okay. I've never heard of this one.
That's one. There's a Korean movie called The Handmaiden that's supposed to be really good. I never got around to that. Okay. There's these movies where these titles are just all in my head, and I'm like, never got around to them. I wanted to see all of them, and I just, for whatever reason, just didn't. And I want to go back because now I'm still curious. Cheetah says we covered a Nightingale on our IFC show.
Oh, that's another IFC. Okay.
I have to go back and check that out then. Yeah. Cheetah probably knows some of the titles I'm talking about here, so I kind of get the idea he might know. Yeah. Was there one that you ever, or however many did you wanted to see, and you just for whatever reason never got around to it, but you still want to?
Oh, I'm sure, but like now that you ask me to think about it in the moment, I'm not thinking of it. It's not coming to me. But yeah, that happens all the time. But it's typically something that I'm not super like pumped for, because those ones, yeah, I'm always watching those. It's usually something that I find out about it and, oh, that's interesting. I'm very curious about that. And but the time comes and I just miss it for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's something that's like, let's say, Late Night with the Devil, I was
Mm-hmm.
immediately like, oh yeah, I'm gonna see that as soon as I can. And when the opportunity came to see the screener, I jumped at that. So it all depends on the film. Shows too. Shows all the time. Like um Monarch, it took me a bit to get around to. I regret
Mm-hmm.
that now, but the shows pile up on me. I've got so many things I'm interested to watch, and I literally will never be able to get around to everything that I'm curious about, unfortunately.
That's kind of the trouble with streaming, because they always go into this whole spiel of, well, you have thousands of movies right at your fingertips, and I'm like, well, I don't have time for thousands of movies right at my
Oh,
fingertips.
and then
You
when
know.
you do have time to sit down and watch something, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't have anything particular in mind, it takes you freaking forever to find something that you're actually in the
To
mood to watch.
decide.
And then by
Yeah.
the time you decide, you start to get sleepy and tired. This
Yeah.
happens to me so often.
I
It's
agree.
so frustrating.
I've got so many titles running through my head right now of these movies that I've want to see but have put aside. Barbarian Sound Studios coming to mind. There was a movie that I think was last year that actually kind of mirrors the plot of Stop Motion. That's called Censor.
Oh, I have not heard of that one.
That was like a British horror film. And it had the woman that was in Wrath of Man.
Oh, the female
female guard. She's the
okay.
star of Censor, and
All right.
it takes place in the 80s during the whole video nasties time period. And her job is to sort of like edit down these horror movies, but the stuff that's going on in the movies is starting to happen in her life, you know.
Oh, it sounds
Yeah.
interesting.
So it does sound interesting. I never got around to it. I'd planned to see it, didn't get to it. Sassy is asking, have you guys watched Soldier, the Kurt Russell movie? Yes.
Yes.
Big favorite in my house.
That's a good film, and I agree, Carl, that it's flawed, but good. It held up really well. I feel like it kind of wobbled, and I didn't feel like it finished as strongly as it started off, but I definitely enjoyed that movie a lot. Yeah. Talk about underrated movies. I was just thinking today about a potential video, to make of some underrated horror gems, and one that I is always at the top of my mind, and you guys may have already seen it, is The Final Girls. Have you seen that one?
Heard of it. Haven't seen it.
It's so good. It's like, it's this very self-aware. Parts of it remind me of how self-aware Scream was, of the whole horror genre and all the tropes and everything. And it's about this girl that her mother was a horror actor, like a big horror actor back in the day. And there was this particular series or movie that she was in that was kind of like a Friday the 13th-ish type of movie. And her mother she's now a grown woman with a daughter, single mother, and her acting opportunities are kind of drying up. But they have a very close relationship, she and her daughter. And there's an accident and her mother dies. And there's something at some point, the daughter, I don't know how long it is later after, picks up with the daughter, and she has this opportunity to go watch a screening of her mother's, one of these big movies her mother was in. And something weird happens. Yes, you've seen it. It's so good. Yes, it's very touching, that scene. Oh my gosh. And something happens at the theater. I'm just telling you the premise. I'm not giving you like spoiler stuff, but something happens at the theater, and the daughter and her friends end up in the movie. And they all know what's going to happen in the movie, but the characters in the movie have no idea that they're just actors playing a part. Like, they're the characters, So she gets to connect with her mother in this movie. And I love that. That is such a it's such a cleverly written story. And yet there is this, it's a horror movie. And it's also a comedy as well. It's kind of like a horror comedy. And there is this, there's this moment at the end that you would think, oh, this shouldn't be a sad moment. This is horrific and terrible, and but it is actually very touching and sad. If you're referring to that specific scene with the mother and daughter towards the end, it was so good. I highly recommend that movie. It was very interesting.
It was.
If you like horror, and if you like films like Scream that are very self-aware that they're horror and they're touching on all these tropes, like the whole trope of the final girl, and she's supposed to be the virginal one. She doesn't mess around, and so she survives. There's reference to that. like one of the characters says at the end, "You messed with the wrong virgin." I mean, stuff like that. It was like, oh my gosh, it was so good. So good. Yeah. How did I even get started on that? No, we were talking about underrated. Yeah, we were talking about underrated films. Yeah. Oh, another good underrated movie is The Clove Hitch Killer. And it's inspired by the true story of the BTK killer. And this one is about a boy. He's like a scout, like a Boy Scout type, and his family's very religious, and he starts to suspect that his father is a serial killer. And it's this very quiet, very underrated movie. It has oh gosh, what's the guy's name? He used to play in he's played in the first season of American Horror Story. He played in some legal show. Oh my gosh, I can't think of his name.
Dylan McDermott?
Yes, him, that guy.
Okay.
And he plays the father. And it's really interesting because this son, he loves his father, but he's starting to really question and wonder. And so you can see this conflict. And the father, using his parental authority over his son, and and his son wanting to be obedient to his father because he loves his father, and he was raised to be this way. It's very well done, very interesting. Monster Squad, very good.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, that was a funny scene.
Not long enough. I wish that movie was longer. Oh, and I started watching Wolfman's Got Nards, which is a documentary.
Yeah.
I started watching that. And it's good so far. I just haven't finished it. It's one of the ones I've just started and haven't gotten back to.
Nice. Cool.
You still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
You're quiet.
I'm trying to think.
I haven't heard of Josie. Haven't heard of that
one. Josie. Dylan McDermott self-returned it. No, I don't know that one. Is it a horror movie? Is it a drama? What is it?
Yes, please clue us in. Yeah, Wolfman's Got Nards. That's a line from the Monster Squad.
Yeah.
There's a scene where uh one of them kicks the Wolfman, down there, and because before there'd been speculation that he doesn't have any, and then they kick him and he reacts, and they're like, oh, Wolfman's got nards. So yeah, they made a documentary titled Wolfman's Got Nards. I did a reaction to the trailer, and the director of the movie made a comment on my video, like thanking me for reacting or something, and saying something about, I think he speculated like whether I'd do a review of the film once I got around to watching it. And that was a few years ago. And yes, I probably will do a review whenever I get to finishing it. Oh, it's a suspense mystery.
Suspense mystery. Okay.
Okay. Oh, Oh, okay. I sorry, Boosh. This is one of the times where you can't quite read the intent when you're reading text on screen. He was quoting. Okay.
Josie's very interesting. Okay,
I'll put that in my letterbox, actually.
Keep right that one in mind. Yeah.
Josie.
How far back does it go?
I'm looking it up right now. 2018? Okay. Put it in my watch list. Wolfman with Benicio was definitely it was flawed. I do enjoy it. I didn't hate it. I also saw that they're remaking it. They're remaking another Wolfman movie, or making another one.
Looking this up here. A decent cast, this Josie movie.
Besides those two, let me see.
And by interesting cast, I mean people I've actually heard of.
Okay.
Jack Kilmer. It's Val Kilmer's son.
I was wondering if he was related. I didn't know his son was in acting.
Yeah. It's got the kid who is Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie Halloween.
Oh, okay.
He's in there. Yeah, it's got an interesting cast here. I actually know some people here. All right. Yeah, I have to keep that one in mind. And it's an hour and a half, so it won't outstay its welcome. So
not very long.
No.
Hello, Garuda Legends.
No. My first time seeing you. Welcome to the show.
I don't recognize that name either.
Alrighty.
Unless it's someone that's changed their name, which has happened before.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Are you looking forward to anything that's coming up?
Let me look at my Regal app and see what I have tickets for. I have to remember. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I turned my phone off, so it's going to take a bit to... I'm trying to think. Yeah. I am going to see some stuff. Oh, I'm looking forward to The Fall Guy. Even though I'm not
it looks like
Gosling
that might be
fan,
fun.
It does look like it's going to be fun. Oh God. Your neighbor reminds you of Michael Myers. Wow. Oh, you guys, speaking of Michael Myers, there is a channel called Michael Myers of Decatur. I can't remember if I've mentioned it on here before or not, but it's really funny. It's like this. It's this woman and her husband always likes to dress up as Michael Myers, and now their little son is doing it. And these little quick videos where she'll be out in the neighborhood walking and talking, like swinging the baby, and her husband rides up on a bicycle dressed as Michael Myers, or something, and she's like, oh my gosh, he's doing it again. It's really funny. That's a fun channel. Okay, so let me look at my Regal app. I know I've got some tickets I bought. Obviously tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna go see Monkey Man.
Oh, there's that. Yeah.
The day before I leave to go help my brother move. Now, I have heard this described as the Indian John Wick. This immediately makes me concerned because I'm not super impressed with John Wick 3 and 4. So we'll see. Then the Fall Guy. Yeah, those are the only ones I've got so far, purchased so far. And I'm not thinking of like any other movies off the top of my head. I mean, I did do a top 10, most anticipated, which some of those I've already seen, and they ended up being not as good as I was hoping. Like Argyle was fun, but it was so flawed with stuff at the end that I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. I'm looking forward to a Brad Pitt, George Clooney movie that's coming out later this year. I think it's those two, called Wolves, and the Nosferatu movie. I'm looking forward to Kraven the Hunter, even though it's probably going to suck. I'm looking forward to the movie that's directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter called Watcher or Watchers, something like that.
Oh, yeah. That looked interesting. Yeah.
And then there's also a remake of a movie from, oh gosh, it was a movie that played Sundance a couple years ago. I don't remember if it was Swedish or whatever, from Switzerland. I don't remember. So they're doing an American remake as well. I'm looking forward to that one. I haven't seen the original. I almost feel like I should watch the original so I can compare, which one's better. Probably the original will be better. So those are some things that I'm thinking of off the top of my head. What about you?
Was it Another Round that you're thinking of?
I don't think,
because I know they're remaking that. Yeah.
No, no, it's got. I think it has the exact same name as the foreign one.
Oh.
It's about like this family that goes to another country or another area, and they are like staying in a place with the family from there, and there's all these weird things that this other family is doing. Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Gosh, yeah. I can't stand it when
So they're remaking that already.
They're remaking that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see. New top 10 list. Top 10 disappointments. Movies that weren't bad but not as good as you expected. You know what, Sashi? When I do a top 10 worst, I kind of include disappointing. It's sort of like it's all bundled together. Yeah, when I do those.
Cheetah says he's seen The Happening for the first time, and then Shadow the Raven says The Happening is a comedy. Yeah, I don't think it was meant to be, though.
Nope, it was not.
What?
Definitely wasn't.
No.
No. Oh, that was so bad. Oh my goodness.
Why am I talking to a plant? Say hello to your mother. All right. I've seen Madam Web, and it wasn't as bad as people say. I like that. Please don't block me. Hey,
no blocking here. No, absolutely. No, I do think it was as bad as people say, but if you enjoyed it, that's good. I'm glad you were able to have an enjoyable experience. I tend to
tend horribly rated movies.
Some people do. Some people actually do.
Like for example, Half Cheetah Review says The Happening was god awful. Now, I can watch The Happening, but I can riff on it. So I can watch it on the fact that it's a very riffable movie. I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they made it. I mean, with Wahlberg, I get it, because he wanted to do something different. I mean, he said it himself in an interview. He wasn't playing a thug and he wasn't playing a cop.
Yeah.
So I get that. But I don't know what. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. That's all I got to say about The Happening. I like hot dogs. Do you like hot dogs?
It's been forever since I saw it, but I remember not liking it at all. And I haven't seen it since. I've just seen clips, especially that horribly acted, clip where he's talking to the lady. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, everybody was bad. Though I wonder if they had gone with the original ending, what people would have thought, if that would have changed anything.
There was another ending?
Yeah, the one where they all croak.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear about that.
I don't know if it was ever actually something that was meant to actually be in the movie, or if somebody just mentioned, hey, how much of a better ending it would have been. But the way they described it was when they do the whole thing at the end where they walk out to the field and they just walk closer and closer to each other. And then they start backing up like everybody does right before they, I went, whoa, what if they had just done that and then just cut? Like,
yeah, I don't even remember. I don't even remember this.
Yeah, that might have been She had tiramisu with a coworker. No. Oh yeah, you're getting that from the Riff Tracks version. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, the big affair. She had tiramisu.
Oh, the postman. You guys in the comments. So this is funny that you would mention the postman. When we were having dinner with Chris Gore and the movie group, I took a picture of my brother talking with Chris. They were bonding over the postman because they both enjoyed that movie. And Chris was so happy. He said, "Oh my gosh, I finally found someone who likes the postman as much as I do." It's really funny.
I'm glad he does, because that movie was god freaking awful.
I have never seen that movie, but my brother Tim loves it, and he explains very clearly why he liked it. And I have a feeling if I watched it, I would probably view it more kindly, because I've heard this perspective from Chris. I've heard this perspective from my brother multiple times about the film and how much he liked it. But yeah, I never was interested to watch it.
It's too long. If somebody would please explain to me what the hell Tom Petty was doing in the movie, playing himself in this post-apocalyptic thing.
Was he really?
Yes.
Whoa, I didn't know that. Oh my goodness. Okay.
There, Bush says the postman was very mid, some cringe. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's, and I get what they were going for. Okay, it's just that it was one of those Costner getting full of himself movies. And when he does that, he just makes the movie boring. Okay. Neil Young was too busy. Probably, I don't know. The Terminator, the Predator, and the Postman. Oh, yeah. All right. Best cameo ever. Yeah. It's just so. Nah.
Yeah, I know it. I know it didn't go over very well with people. It was a flop.
Yeah. Which kid, Bush? A lot of the movies we've mentioned tonight had annoying kids in them.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's talking about The Happening or The Postman.
Yeah. Postmaster General for Lincoln Mercury.
Conan the Stamp Collector.
Conan the Stamp Collector.
There was a movie I saw with Costner in it that I actually really enjoyed a few years ago. It was called Criminal. That was a fun film.
Now, here's where I get to say thank you, because you and I are the only ones who like that movie.
Oh, really? No,
yes.
Surely not. That was fun. I enjoyed the concept.
Funny as hell. I don't think it was meant to be funny, but I
didn't. You talking about Criminal? I didn't think Criminal was funny. I didn't think it was funny.
I mean, it kind of is, but
I like the premise of it. We are talking about the same one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. With Gal Gadot?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Ryan Reynolds wasn't in there long enough, though, unfortunately.
No. Took a beating, returned to Postman to Sender. The black kid and the Postman, so bad. Yeah, that's who I was talking about. Yeah. Conan the Librarian. Okay. We're doing Conan jokes now. All right. I can redeem myself and say Poor Things was an amazing movie, and not because I have a crush on Emma Stone. Not. I don't know. I don't know this crowd. Like we mentioned Poor Things at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, we did talk about it briefly.
We haven't seen it, so yeah. Conan the Postman. Yeah. So yeah. Alrighty. Well, we're getting towards that time.
Oh.
Where we have to start.
Jeez,
sort of wrapping things up here, because we are East Coasters, folks. So it's late for us.
It definitely is. I am not typically up this late for sure.
Because I was the Weisenheimer who said, "Yeah, I'm going to go and do this.
Do a midnight show."
Art Bell coast to coast type show on a Sunday night, and do this chill stream. And it's a chill stream because everybody's half asleep,
right?
Or completely. Everybody on this show has either been half asleep or completely hammered.
Coherently. Yeah, that's right. Because you're over there in the UK, right? No,
Conan on Ice.
You in the UK?
6 a.m. Yeah, he's got to be there or close then, right?
Yeah, because UK is 5 hours ahead of us.
5 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you guys haven't changed your time yet. I don't remember. Wales. Okay,
Wales.
That's right. You've said, I know you've said that. You've told me that. I'm sorry. I forgot. I remember your name. I just don't always remember the time zone that everybody's in.
Alrighty. So what do you have coming up?
Well, tomorrow we're talking about the mystery movie. And I am aiming to get my review for Late Night with the Devil up on Tuesday.
Nice.
And then I honestly don't know what will be coming up after, because there's things I'm watching that I need to review. So I couldn't tell you. After Tuesday, I don't know. I will be on Cheetah's channel on Tuesday night at 8. Yeah. Oh, and this Wednesday, sorry, it's not. I will be also streaming to my channel, but I'm going to be on Sound Booth Theater. We're going to be talking about 2 films. The theme is like buddy type, films. One of them is Midnight Run, which I rewatched again today for the first time in decades. And the other one we'll be talking about is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. So that's this Wednesday at 8:00 Eastern on Sound Booth Theater. And I will also be streaming it to my channel. So that's what I know of in the immediate future. Probably will do a review for Renegade Nell at some point before I have to go help my brother move, and maybe an audio review of the first 3 episodes of X-Men 97. I think it's been released now, or it's coming out episodically. So, Buddy Films The Postman. Oh boy, we are stuck on The Postman, aren't we?
No problem. Everyone forgets Wales.
Oh. No, because isn't Christian Bale from Wales? Right? I don't forget Wales. because I love Christian Bale. What is that?
That was an echo.
It was an echo. I think what's her name? Who's married to Michael Douglas? Catherine Zeta-Jones. I think she's from Wales as well. I think.
No, I don't remember for sure.
Yeah, she's. I'm pretty sure. I want to say that she is.
Cheetah says X-Men 97 was the only good cartoon Marvel made.
It's been. I enjoyed the first 3 episodes, what I saw, and so I can give a good review for that. I know that there was some concern about some stuff. I've seen some people were upset, and in my opinion rightly so, that they changed one of the characters to a non-binary, because you always have to
reasons
something like that. And it was the character of Morph, who does morph. He changes. He's not non-binary. I mean, like the original Morph is not. He's a guy. But I have heard that they changed him in the show. That has not come up in the first 3 episodes, but it was the original, and I'm not just talking about clickbaity YouTubers that have made this claim. This apparently came from the source, from like Disney or whatever, who worked on it, someone who worked on it. Another thing that I have seen in a clip, it does look like they've got some definite like agenda narratives about certain, social type things. So I don't know. The first 3 I saw, I enjoyed. I thought the animation was beautiful. And the women still look pretty sexy. That was one of the complaints. Oh my gosh, they're making the women not look sexy. They look fine. And the intro was cool because they kept pretty much the same music, and the layout of the animation, like the stuff that was happening, was almost completely identical, except for the 2 extra characters, Morph and Bishop, that were included in the intro animation. So
yeah, they did turn Iceman gay in the comics. Yeah, which brought about some backlash, which it did.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. I don't. That's a real. That gets on my nerves when they do this sort of thing, and I know the reason that they're doing it. The only reason that they're doing it is because it's a popular thing to insert this stuff. And my thought is like, no, that's dumb. You don't need to do that. If you want certain characters like this to be in there, they need to be written in organically. Don't be doing swaps. I hate swaps. I hate them. They very rarely work for me. So yeah, obviously for the fans, that's going to rub them wrong. And that doesn't mean they're any whatever ist or obe or whatever you want to throw at them. Don't be messing with the character. You don't need to do that. And there's plenty of other characters that you could probably draw from or create brand new without messing with, the ones that have already been established. It's just lame. To me, it just reeks of lazy writing. Lazy writing. And I hate it that, characters get hijacked because the writers have decided they've got this thing they want to say. I don't know. It's aggravating. Very aggravating. Watch Iwaju. We're going to talk about, like, let's say, generally the things they want to say have something to do with the diversity, whatever. You don't need to do that. You don't need to take established characters and change them. All you need to do is just give us an original organic story that shows, diverse backgrounds and diverse locations and diverse people. Iwaju was fantastic. I love that show. You know why? Part of the reason why it was so good was because the people that were very heavily involved in it were from that area, and they made sure It was very authentic to that area. And I thought it was lovely. It's geared for kids, but I enjoyed it as an adult. I enjoyed it a lot. So this is what I wish they would do more often.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. That's my little Monday morning rant.
That's fine. That's fine. All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I guess that moves us on over to me. And yeah, I'm going to be busy. Of course, as Sin said, tomorrow night, Mystery Movie Night at the Regal. That'll be at 10 p.m. Tuesday, starting at 5 p.m. will be my special second year anniversary 2K subscriber and monetization celebration. So come one, come all. And then later on that night at 8:30, we'll be live from Sparkwood and 21, where Troy Pacelli, Netters Network, and Aged Boomer will be joining me as we talk about episode 20 of Twin Peaks, entitled Checkmate. Thursday, I am going to be simulcasting along with Jedi Bill. So we watch 3,000 Miles to Graceland. Speaking of Kevin Costner or Kurt Russell.
Yes.
3,000 Miles to Graceland is part of Action Theater. And later on that night at a special time, 9 p.m. Eastern, for the Weekend Update. Which is coming on early because on Thursday things, a special extended episode. Tom Connors is going to be joining Netter and Troy as they watch the Spice Diver edit of the David Lynch version of Dune. So that should be a pretty cool show. Stay tuned for that. And, of course, join Jedi Bill and I next Sunday at 4 p.m. for Western Cinema Sunday as we watch Broken Trail with Robert Duvall and Thomas Hayden Church, Emmy-winning film. So check that out. All right. I think that about wraps things up. Let me check the chat here really quick. Let's see. Gorilla Legends. Think they can actually make a good character? Nope. They need to find a mid-popular character for diversity attention and swap them to have no creativity. No.
Not even just mid-popular. Sometimes they take popular characters and they swap them.
Yeah.
But yeah. I had written a response to that. They actually can do it. It has been done from time to time. It's just they often just take the lazy way out because they latch on to established characters because they know there's already a fan base there and they think that's going to bring the fans because they've already got this product there, this IP, and all that does is very often just piss the fans off.
Mm-hmm. Cheetah says, I am covering the Sackets this week. Nice. Well done. All right. Sin, any last words before we wrap it up?
Can't think of anything hugely significant. I do remember that I filmed a reaction video that I'm going to try to put up. But it's just a reaction video to the little 5-minute video that was put up on Sound Booth Theater of that party that we had in Kansas City. That's the only other thing I can think of.
You have got to come up with an outro.
You don't have an outro after all this time?
Oh, I have one. You need to come up with one.
Who, me? Oh,
yes.
You mean what do you mean, like that final quote?
Yeah, you gotta have something.
I am not original and creative, deleted. I'm just like hasta luego or nos vemos or adios or bye. That's it. I don't have anything super special. Sorry. I'm not creative that way, y'all.
Okay. Screw it. Hell, let's end the show.
Sorry. Thanks, everyone, for joining. It was fun, as always. How's that for an outro? Oh, you have? Fine. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Garuda.
Try to be more vocal on your vids. Been following me for years, by the way. Nice. All right.
Lurker no longer. Cool.
Indeed. And I hope to see you here again on my channel. All right. We're here every week. I have members now. That scares me.
I was going to ask you, I guess you'll go into this during that live stream, what a membership means for people.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I want to thank everyone who joined us on Twitter and Rumble. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I'd like to thank everybody who joined us here live. Troy and Netter were here earlier. Dee Myers Jr., Bush McFadden, Sashi, Cheetah, Connie Cleary, Garuda Legends. I believe JPRPH1 was here earlier. Shadow and a Raven. We move up here real quick. I want to make sure I didn't forget anyone. Darth Plato. Did I mention Sashi? Sashi is with us.
Good old Sashi. It's always good to see you in the chat. Which YouTube link? Garuda? I'm not sure what you're referring to.
All right.
Don't know.
Oh, YouTube link.
I don't know if he's talking about yours.
I think he might want me to drop mine in there. Okay. Give me a quick moment.
Oh, for deleted. Yeah. For yours.
Okay.
And I think this, let's see, I was going to post this. If I can go to your chat. This link, sure. I think this is the link. That one is the little 5-minute video I was referring to about Sound Booth.
All right. So there you go. So thank you all once again for being here. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Please hit the like, share the stream, and if you're new to both Sin's channels and mine, please subscribe. We're nice people. We mean well.
Try to be.
Yes.
We have our moments.
From HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night, take care, stay strong, because this is how we win.